Hello, everyone. Welcome to this live session. And hopefully, you can see my video as well as you can hear me clearly. Just confirm in the comments so I could ensure that the technology is working fine. Okay, great. So I have planned this session. Today is 29th, actually, 29th of December. And in 2 days, we will be starting a new year. It's unbelievable how fast the time is going through. We just started 2024 and now we are almost touching 2025. So I want to take this opportunity to give you my thoughts on the overall profession. So just tell me that you can still hear me because I was getting some echo from my side. Okay. So people are saying that audio and video are great. Good. Okay. So the purpose of this live session is to share my thoughts about the overall finance profession in current situation at a global level where we are, what are the challenges, and especially from the point of view of individual professionals, what you can do. I think these are the most uncertain times for finance professionals ever faced by them in the history. And because of the several factors I would explain in some detail. So this purpose of this webinar or live session is to really give you some guidelines, some guidance at what you could do in your individual capacity. I'm still looking at the comments just to ensure that everything is going smoothly. Yeah, as I said that if you have some problem, try to switch to another channel. Is being live cast on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can try other channel if it doesn't work for you. Okay, great. We have and I'm joining. Okay. So I'm going to start with my slides, and this session will take probably 90 minutes. I want to take some time to really explain from my side what are the issues prevailing in the profession and what you can do as an individual professional. And then we can, of course, have Q&A session. If you have any question during during my conversation, please feel free to drop into the comments box, and I will try to catch up, taking a pause during my session and try to answer you. Otherwise, definitely towards the end of the session, I will try to answer as many questions as possible. So thanks for joining one more time, and let me switch to my slides. So I hope you see my slide now. And what I promised in my announcement that I would try to give you a framework which would take care of the professional life as well as a personal life as well as your career, and in a sort of integrated way. So I'm a big advocate or propagand of the work-life balance or work-life integration. So nothing is really complete uh, if you don't take into account your career and life and your family into your profession as well. So that's my effort, is to really give you a framework where you feel comfortable going forward, taking care of all aspect of your life and your career. So with that thought, yeah. So this is the current scenario, what we are facing right now. And this relates to our understanding of the future of finance. As I said, that we are probably in the most uncertain times from a profession point of view, and mainly is driven by the rapid technological advancements, mainly generative AI or AI tools adoption at the wide level. So that is really causing change in every aspect of our life, work life, and professional life as well. So AI is digital transformation has become inevitable. So based on what is happening in the world, it looks like that every organization, every individual, every professional has to go through digital transformation. But generally speaking, we are not prepared. Generally speaking, CFO is not prepared. Generally speaking, finance organizations are not ready for it, and it's coming very fast. So this AI implementation is triggering changes in the processes because this is mainly focused on the productivity improvement, and businesses are very hungry for the cost reduction. They are going to adopt it as fast as they can, and this will result in the change in the processes in the business organizations. And change in the processes would be change in the roles. And when the roles would be changed, it would require a lot of new learning of new skills. So that is the overall scenario we are facing right now. Of course, there are other issues, but I'm just trying to focus mainly on the major issues. And with this situation, I could summarize in three major issues faced by finance professionals. So number one issue is digital challenge, how to really handle it. Now, most of the professionals think that it's up to their company or their CFOs, what do they want to do about the digital transformation. But I think this is the time, as I said, in my observation, they are not well prepared. As a senior finance professional, now it is our responsibility that we prepare and please update ourselves what really it takes to get involved in the digital transformation. So it could happen in the current employment where you are working, or it may happen in the next employment you will have. But you need to really start getting oriented and updated and trained with the digital challenge or digital transformation. That's number one issue. There is not much clarity for individual professionals. Number two, transition into strategic roles. Now, this we have been talking about for 20, 25 years. Emerging role of CFO, strategic partner, strategic business partner to the CEO, all those things. But in reality, really not much has happened. Of course, there are instances or examples of the individual CFOs who are doing a fantastic job as a strategic partner to their CEOs and the business partners. But generally speaking, there is no framework available that if you become a CFO, there is no framework available that you would look at that you said that this is the role I could play and deliver for my business partner. So that is still a question, very prominent question we need to answer, or we need to really take care of that. It's it's a little bit overshadowed by the digital challenge. Looks like that the most important challenge we have right now is the challenge, and the transition into the strategic roles has a little bit overshadowed by that. But I think the emphasis is not reduced for the strategic role, and I would try to explain how we could take care of these two challenges. The third challenge, which has ever been present in life of the most of us or professionals, is the lack of work-life balance. It has always been there, and I think with the existence or emergence of these other challenges like the digital challenge and transition into strategic role, and uncertainty about the future of finance, it has become more prominent and more painful and more really costing us in terms of the quality of life we are having. So these are the three prominent challenges currently facing by most professionals or all professionals, and I will try to explain how we could really take care of that. So I see that hopefully the stream is smoothly. I don't see any comments or anything contrary to that. So let's continue. Okay, let's talk about the digital challenge. I'm sure that many of you are familiar with this picture, which is basically a timeline for the advancement or the maturity curve for the analytics. And I think as everybody understand that yes, we have been very much finance. We have been very much involved in the descriptive analytics and to some extent diagnostic analytics. And many professionals think that a smooth journey, a smooth upgrade of our analytics from descriptive to diagnostics to predictive and prescriptive. But there is a problem. I mean, between the diagnostic analytics and the predictive analytics, the gears have changed significantly. And if you look at the right side, the bar, which is showing from the bottom about the enterprise data warehouses and the files and some conventional data, that is what we were using as an input to really produce our reports or analytics for the descriptive and diagnostic analysis. For predictive and prescriptive, it's altogether a different game because it involves big data, and big data we cannot handle manually. For big data, we need sophisticated softwares, we need skilled technicians or the professionals, and process is quite complicated, which it is very clear that as finance professionals, we cannot handle that alone. So then there is a data experts, data professionals, or data scientists who really get involved into it. Now, when data professionals get involved into analytics, predictive and prescriptive, it becomes a lot more complex. And this is one of the example where I said that there is not much guidance or structured guidance available how to do it. So in some organizations, they are hiring data scientists and they are reporting to the IT head of automation. In some organizations, they are reporting to CFO. In some organizations, they are reporting to the CEO. It's not really clear or structured framework available how to handle it. And this businesses are very hungry for this type of analytics, predictive and prescriptive, and the data is becoming more and more available. So there is a dire need of these analytics, but the structure is not very clear from finance side at least. And data is coming very fast. I mean, if you look at the data which is being generated now, most of the data is very, very recent. It's doubling every 6 months or every 9 months nowadays. And with the more and more data, there is more temptation to really try to create processes which would create value out of this data available. And from an analytics point of view, or the upward cascadation of the data. So if you look at this pyramid, starting from the data at the bottom, the data, information, knowledge, and insight. So we were talking about information, and then we started to talk about the knowledge. Even knowledge looks like it's becoming a commodity now because the sophistication of the tools available, advanced processing tools available, uh, AI tools are really the highest level of cognitive power. What businesses are now looking is really the wisdom, insight, and that level of quality of insight and wisdom which is required is not easy to be done manually. So you need sophisticated tools like help or support from the data scientists and the data experts and some other software. But the requirement has gone up to the level of insight or wisdom. That is a requirement, that is a benchmark, and we are definitely not prepared to get involved at that level. So that's another challenge, how to really provide the quality of insight. And that is where the AI tools or AI revolution comes into the picture because there's a promise that they could really help us. Now, it has also become very clear. Now we are almost 2 years into the uh, availability of AI tools, and I think there is enough level of awareness that yes, we have our place as human intelligence. We have our place, and artificial intelligence have their place, and we need to really work together in a sort of collaboration. But how do we work? It is still not very clear. So, and as I said, that businesses are very hungry. Businesses would not survive without this using this value. As it is said, data is the new oil, which means that many businesses or the businesses who are a little bit productive would be using this information uh, in at the level of knowledge and insight. If your business or you do not really reach to that level, you cannot survive. It's not a matter of choice that whether you do this data analytics or the use of the data science to create highly sophisticated information. It's not a choice, it's a requirement, it's inevitable. Because if you as a business don't do that, you cannot survive. It's a game changer. With this quality of knowledge or insight, businesses would be able to do a lot more and lot better. It's inevitable for the businesses. Sooner or later, every business has to really get into this data, data generation and uh, wisdom creation through the use of the data. Moving to the next slide. So data, as I said, that every new year or new month or new quarter bring more data coming from different sources. And more data means that more availability, more opportunity to get insights and use for the business benefit. This slide would really explain a little bit about the how the data is being handled or what is the standard process. So compared to the traditional data we could handle ourselves in finance, this is the modern example of the big data, and it needs to be, first of all, gathered, extracted, transformed, and loading, the basic work for the data. And then it goes through the process of data wrangling and cleaning, and then data mining and analysis, and then data visualization. So our role as a finance looks like come towards the end of this process. In the beginning, the processes are so technical that unless you decide to become a data scientist, it probably would not fit in the scope of the traditional finance profession. So this is the new picture or new horizon we need to really understand and find our place into it. And these are the different roles. So starting from the left side, data visualization analyst, I think we are familiar with this part, that data visualization is a very important part of the process to deliver the results to the business users. Uh, Visualization would really help to get explanation and the storytelling to the business. Then we have the business intelligence architect, data scientist, and business analyst. So again, as I said earlier, that these different roles are very, very crucial and important, but there is not much clarity that how do we really organize these processes, whether they are part of the finance process, they are part of the IT department process, or they are part of the any another function or another things which are clear is that yes, we have a role in the data visualization and analytics, and as well as the business analytics. But when it comes to the data science and data experts and data technicalities, probably other professionals like data professionals are more suitable for those things. So this slide could explain you in a this is a sort of global view of this data management, where the data is coming. So the three circles you see here, if you look from the bottom left, which is the uh, data engineers, this is purely a technical role. So this would be taken care by the data scientists and other uh, data professionals. On the top side, the circle which is on the top is basically the business manager, the business skills. And the circle which is showing on the bottom right, somewhere in between the technicalities and the business. So you see there visualization and analytics and uh, other area like analytical skills. So where finance fits into the overlap right side circle below and above with the place which is saying analytics translators. That is the place for finance, and also to some extent the delivery managers, and to some extent the visualization analysis. That is the part where the finance would fit in, just to understand. So uh, it would be very difficult to really see that we become data scientists and remain also the financial finance professionals. Those are things quite technically different, and we need to focus on the areas which are more suitable to us. So this picture is being clarified with the passage of time, but still a lot has to be clarified. This slide you are looking is from Gartner, and this is basically an indication about the digital acumen. So finance professionals definitely significantly need to significantly improve their digital acumen. They don't need to necessarily become the blockchain developer or the technical experts, but they need to really understand a high level of understanding of the digital landscape, and digital acumen really matters. What Gartner is trying to explain in this picture is that there are two choices, or one extreme is becoming a techie. So you go to the technology and you try to understand the cloud computing and blockchain or other technologies. And this is one way, but then you remain to the limit of a techie, a technical person. Other extreme is that you have a lot of vision about the future, about the digital business. You don't know much technicalities, but you just dreaming about those things, how they could happen in the future. What Gartner is saying, the best place for the finance professional is somewhere in the middle. That you become the digital business innovators, which means that you have a good understanding of the technology, not necessarily knowing and becoming expert in each and every technology, but good understanding of the digital landscape and enough understanding of the business processes. So you could really create some digital innovation from your side. That was the message. To further emphasize on this same message, they they publish another slide, this one. So this basically shows the two groups of uh, business people, business leaders. Actually. So on the top, you see this group of business leaders. They are two-thirds, and they are involved or they want to involve at the technology level, understanding the technology individual. And compared to this two-thirds of business leaders, there is segment of one-third business leaders who do not go to the technology level, but want to understand the digital part at the enterprise level, like enterprise risk management, like corporate landscape of the digital. And what Gartner is saying that those business leaders who are oriented at this level, the higher level of the enterprise, they basically create it 15 times more value compared to the business professionals who try to get involved with the technology level. So message is very clear for us. That as finance professionals, we do not need to jump learning and understanding individual technologies, but we need to really understand the landscape of the technology. We need to develop a level of digital acumen so we could really still create value at the enterprise level. That message is very clear. So that gives you the direction about the digital. Now let's talk about the second. This was about the first challenge. So I think it gives clarity that digital is basically a big ocean, and before you want to jump into that ocean, you need to be very careful. What is your objective? What you want to achieve? Otherwise, you will be drowned in that ocean if you don't clarify yourself. The second challenge about the evolving role of the CFO, as I said, that we have been talking about for 20, 25 years about the evolving or emerging role, and it's still not sure that how it is evolving and emerging. So here is I have a little story to share with you. This is from McKinsey. McKinsey in 2014, 10 years ago, made a study, and that study was about the strategy function in the organizations. They wanted to see that in whatever way the strategy function is there in those companies, how it is performing, how it is creating. That was November 2014. And their finding was that survey comprised 350 strategies. Now, these strategies were labeled different titles like chief strategy officer or a strategy manager or we have VP. Strategy. But these were the 350 strategies from 25 industries. And what came out that only 35% of the companies score more than 30% on effectiveness criteria. Now, look at those numbers, which means that only few companies were really able to make some effective results out of their strategy process. Resource allocation was the major problem. 90% funds go to the same area. So they create strategies, but when it comes to the implementation or allocating funds, they still don't do that. So those projects in the strategy are not able to really execute it. Key gaps, ineffective strategies, they are not able to implement it, underutilized resource allocation, and limited capability building, even within their strategy department resources. there was not much capability or capacity available to do a better job. And so this report was not much publicized by McKinsey. I mean, you understand, McKinsey, the so-called lead in a strategy processes or a strategy education or development, were basically telling that strategy is not working in most organizations. What's wrong with this? And McKinsey did not much publicize for the obvious reason. But 10 years after, this was in 2014, 10 years after, they made another study that was August 2023, the Study Leaders Evolving Mandate. And in this study, I think they hoped that things would have improved in 10 years, so they could really boast about it. But what came out even after 10 years, key issues remain the same. 79% expect significant changes to their roles. So these strategy managers or strategy heads, they were even not sure that their role could be continued in the long term. 91% of strategy leaders now oversee additional functions, diluting their role. Whenever a new initiative comes like digital transformation, the CEO thought that this strategy manager has some capacity, some time available, they would upload that person with the additional roles. Additional roles further diluted the effectiveness of their strategy roles. Only 20% report being highly successful. Only 20%. And these are the big organizations. 33% lack clear mandate. They don't know what to do. Even CEO was not able to really give them a clear mandate. So they were there in the organization as part of the beautiful org charts, but they were not doing much because there were not much clarity, lack of adaptability during volatility. Even COVID-19, they couldn't really gear their organizations to meet the challenges during that time. Now, this time when these results come, uh, McKinsey even did not publish a report. Just made a audio cast, not much publicized, and that is how they publish it. Again, they do not want really to let the world know much about these studies, but the results were very clear. What does it tell you? So there is a lot of talk about the finance function to really take the role of a strategic partners. So challenges faced by strategy manager were increased complexity and dual mandates, lack of clear roles and priorities, fragmented teams and underperforming strategies, difficulty aligning with other functions. That was a major thing. So not only the resource allocation, but look, strategy organizations are usually very small. It's the one chief strategy officer with a couple of staff members, or maybe a team of 5 to 10 people, not more than that. And they're isolated in the organization. They are basically live in the corporate uh, headquarters, and they are not much penetrated into the organization. So when it comes to the execution part, they are not connected with the organization. And as you can imagine, with all the politics and the culture of the organization, it becomes very challenging. This was difficulty aligning with other functions was also a major reason for their failures. Low success rate in driving impactful strategy, that was the other one. And so resource allocation came out as a major issue. And of course, you can understand the CFO, the so-called Chief Financial Officer, is basically the custodian or the driver of the resource allocation. If those CFOs are not engaged with the strategy, there would be difficulty getting resources allocated for those strategies. And this is very common in most organizations. So resource allocation lacks alignment with strategy. Strategy is not linked to the financial priorities. So finance going into their own direction, strategy strategy going in their own direction, and there is not much link because of the lack of resource allocation or alignment with the organization. Lack of integration with other functions again, underdeveloped practices in reallocation of resources. So these were very obvious issues came out from these two studies. Now let's get back to our own sort of mandate or ambition, I would call it, for finance, ambition for finance to become the strategy leader or a strategic partner. Why that has not happened? So, in my opinion, I have been advocating it for several years that finance is the best suited function to take over or lead the strategy function in the organization. So, few arguments. Finance is about quantitative measurement. Strategy is about qualitative assessment. So CEO or the chief strategy officer or strategy manager, whoever, they could create beautiful strategies, no problem. But when it comes to the execution, finance is best suited because execution is about the quantitative measurement. Finance is ready for it. Finance is capable of it. Then finance is also in the best position to monitor an effective strategy execution and enables involving finance into the strategy enables holistic decision making and better resource allocation. Of course, there is ownership with the finance and the CFOs when they are involved. And it reduces conflict and aligns organizational objectives. So it's a very clear case that look, if a strategy is not working in the current scenario, where there are chief strategy officer and there are a lot of support from the corporate, then finance is probably the best match, at least for the execution part, if not for the formulation part. And barriers to integration, why it did not happen so far, finance fully involved in strategy, cultural and organization silos, very clear. Lack of leaders with expertise in both finance and strategy. And this is very unfortunate. I have been teaching strategy for 10, 15 years now to the business managers and finance managers and CFOs. And strategy is so easy to understand based on your business experience and background. And still, I don't see much effort to really learn it. That's become the main reason that unless you demonstrate your expertise in strategy, you be assigned with a strategy role. And resistance to change in traditional roles and structure, again, change management challenges are there. Perceived risks in combining strategic and financial functions. There are so-called risks. I don't think there is any serious risks. So, message here is that look, if you really want to get involved into the strategy, this message of finance professionals. If you really want to get involved in the strategy, you need to demonstrate your expertise first. It probably would never happen that a CEO would or CFO would come to you with a letter of promotion that you are appointed a strategy manager or head of a strategy or a strategic partner, unless you demonstrate your skills and expertise. So, look, a recipe is very simple. As I said that with my experience teaching strategy for 10, 15 years to CFOs and business managers and financial professionals, it's very easy. You need to learn a strategy. You need to demonstrate your skills, practice a little bit, and then you basically earn that role. This role is not granted. You need to earn that strategy role. So the back to the challenges, we challenges. One challenge is how to become strategic partners. It's up to you. At one point of time in my career, I decided to call myself global strategy strategic CFO, global strategic CFO. I started using that. My official title was finance director, but I was doing that job. So first, I ensured that I'm really global. I really understand strategy at the global level, and then I started to use that title. Nobody ever objected, and as a matter of fact, I was doing that job of a strategy CFO because I was all the time involved in the strategy planning of the organization and dealing with the stakeholders at the C level. And then I try to delegate all of my finance or accounting work to my controllers and other staff members. It worked very well. Let's address the third challenge we have or facing about the work-life balance. Yeah, the picture you are looking always work, career becomes priority. Most of us, I'm not saying it for everyone, but most of us are tempted to allocate more time, resources, energy to the career and work. And there's a reason for it. I mean, most of us are really the bread earner for the families, head of the families, and we have a lot of responsibility and burden to provide a quality of life to our families, and that makes us uh, reasonable to spend more time on it. But then we started to pay the cost in terms of the lack of work-life balance. So it's a basically a dilemma for most professionals what to do about it. This slide shows you the biggest barriers to work-life balance. So number one, personal perfectionism. As I said that we basically decide to do allocate more time, allocate more energy to our work and career because we think that this is the right thing to do. Right? Number two, company culture. There are many organizations where people want to take enough time to, or their deserve time to the family, and they couldn't because of this company culture. If your boss is not leaving at the right time, you feel a little bit embarrassed to really leave before your boss. That's part of the culture. Then, when you overdo this, you basically burn out yourself, and that's even worse. And the nature of work itself, I think finance and accounting, there is a lot of burdensome work. You have to really spend more time. And bosses and supervisors' attitude and the way they manage their function is also a reason. So there are obvious reasons that what we could do, why it is happening with most of the professionals. And and again, this is also very obvious that like yes, the result even to the organization is burnout, is stress, and decrease in productivity and negative impact on the company. Not only individual level, at the organizational level, there is also loss or losses they have to bear. Now, I am a big proponent of work-life integration rather than work-life balance. So, work-life balance, the problem is that the word balance used in the work-life balance phrase is gives sort of message that we need to really separate the work life and the personal life, which is not really possible. My biggest argument is that look, we are not type of workers who work with their who have the manual work like machine operator. You go to the factory or your facility and you work a shift with your hands and feet and then you come back and you can really not think of work. We are finance professionals. We are all knowledge workers. We work with our and there is no possibility to really create a compartment in our brain like this is my work life, this is my personal life. You cannot avoid thinking about your family when you are at work. And similarly, in your personal time, if you are a responsible professional, you cannot stop thinking about your work. So it's integrated. If it is integrated in this way, why do we try to disintegrate falsely in our work approach and that create more frustration? So I'm not suggesting that you work all the time 24/7 or you do not leave at time or start at time. What I'm saying that it starts with a clear mindset. You have one mind, you have one brain to work, you have one life, integrated life. And if you think from that point of view, that look, whether you are at work or you are at your home, it's your life, it's your time, and you want to make best use of their time. So when you adopt an approach of integration, that look, there is part of work which is maybe important sometimes have priorities, or there is part of my life or family which also very important and they may have some priority. And if you go by priorities, you basically reduce the burden of work-life balance in your mind at least to the 50%. So look at your life in an integrated manner and set your priorities. So little clarification, work-life balance. Work-life balance, work and personal life are equally prioritized or separated. This is a clear dissatisfaction between the two with designated work hours and non-work hours. So you try to really create a schedule, and that doesn't work. Work-life integration, in contrast, takes away the balancing part. There is nothing to balance. It's one life and focuses on integrating the various needs of your life, daily life based on your priorities. Work-life integration is about integrating work and life together, bringing them closer. Rather than separating them, you integrate them, you combine them, and that gives you a lot of clarity. Again, you must understand the priorities of your life. I'm not suggesting that when your family needs you and if you are sitting in your work, that's not the message. So, do you need work-life integration? Allowing this flexibility. This is a flexibility actually that comes with work-life integration lets individuals coordinate their own schedules, which in turn increase satisfaction in all areas of their life. Oppositely, research shows that boundary violation result in negative consequences. So when you are trying to implement work-life balance and you fail, this is more frustrating. When you want to leave office in time and there are things which do not allow that, you get more frustrated. from a work-life integration point of view, you feel more in control that you look, I make a decision. I decide whether to stay or not to stay long based on your priorities. I think this is really the solution of work-life balance, lack of work-life balance. In my opinion, this is really not, it's a new phrase. Work-life balance is, or work-life integration is the new work-life balance. Look at that way. So I teach that quite in detail during my CFO program, and I have seen that people are able to understand and adopt it and have a better quality of life. Okay, so we, I address the three challenges in some details to give you an idea that what we have are facing in terms of challenges and what we can do. Now, later remaining part of this presentation, I would try to explain you what is the framework or the mechanism you could adopt to address those three challenges and really having a more better, more integrated personal work, career, and family life. So this slide you are looking at, this is from McKinsey again. Based on all the changes happening right now, McKinsey said that in a world of advanced automation and AI, people skill are becoming the differentiator for finance professionals. So there has been a lot of debate and a lot of discussions and lack of understanding what skills are really relevant for finance professionals. So of course, the skills or the tasks which are taken care by AI are no more relevant to us. But there are still a lot of people skill which will take some time for AI to really adopt and develop that skill. That is what really the most important thing for us, people skill. And if you look at the different roles we have been playing, the role of finance function is shifting from a passive facilitator to proactive partner. As I said, that if you want to become a strategic partner, if you want to become a value creator, you need to be proactive. Don't wait for the direction from the management or your boss or a promotion letter. That probably would not happen. You need to really be proactive and start learning those things. With the available information or the resources available, nobody should really complain that they cannot learn on their own. I'll talk more about this in a few minutes. So this picture shows you the clear distinction between artificial intelligence and human intelligence. So artificial intelligence is mainly about speed, accuracy, and memory. But then people skill or human skills, unique human skills, intuition, reasoning, judgment, creativity, critical thinking, beliefs, passion, emotion. Now, maybe sometimes in future, AI would also be able to create that uh, level of expertise or human intelligence. But right now, at least for us, it's a clear direction that if we focus and emphasize on these areas or those skills, we would have a better place in the collaboration with AI. So that message is very clear. This is another slide. They call it adaptive skills are expected to become more in demand over the next 3 years. And what are the adaptive skills? Analytical thinking, creativity, originality, critical thinking and analysis, complex problem solving. Again, all very unique cognitive skills or soft skills for the human people or human intelligence. This is from EY, and it's worth reading it a little bit carefully that what they are trying to say. Again, based on the what skills are relevant for finance professionals. So EY said effective adoption of digital technologies requires behavior, mindset, and skill shift. Listen carefully. Behavior, mindset, and skill shift. It is not enough for companies to have the technical expertise to make use of technology. They must also have the skills to apply those technologies as broadly and strategically as possible. Critical thinking, creativity, innovation, problem solving, ideation, etc. to find and extract every bit of value possible. This is the difference between doing digital and being digital. Very important statement from EY. And I think it very well explains that what you need to do. So, yes, understanding technology is one thing, but don't forget to develop your critical thinking, creativity, and all those unique human skills at the same time, because that is what really required when you are working in collaboration with the AI. That is what really required from the human side. And this slide is from the last year report from the World Economic Forum about the top 10 skills. And if you look at the top 10 skills, pretty much what EY said: analytical thinking, resilience, motivation, curiosity, mostly the soft, unique human skills. That is what they are talking. So everybody understand that, look, it is not something that you could go to school or some training institution, do a course, and then say that, look, I'm now ready for the future. It is something you need to learn and unlearn. It's lifelong learning. Lifelong learning you cannot do on an ad hoc basis, on a project basis. You need to really adopt in your lifestyle that you do not feel the burden of training or learning, but it becomes natural part of your daily routine. That is how you basically learn and survive. So most of the time, if you look at your life, uh, the first part of life where we spend a lot of time in college, school, universities, we are basically we gather knowledge building. That is the knowledge building phase. Unfortunately, we don't learn much practical skills. Like when you start working, you are supposed to work with other people, and to work with other people, emotional intelligence is a very important skill to learn. But we are not taught. Even today, we are not taught that skill. So we are developed with a lot of knowledge. When we start our career, we have a huge burden of knowledge on us, but very much knowledge, not many skills. But in order to execute that knowledge, we need the practical skills, which we usually don't have that. So some lucky people who have the natural ability to practice those skills, they are successful. Many people really struggle. So in your student life or in your learning phase of life, you need IQ. But when you start working in your career or business, you need EQ, emotional intelligence. That's a practical skill you need. And unfortunately, we are not much taught about that EQ level. So we struggle with work life during work life. All these behavior which we are basically are monitored at work or career, like our attitude, performance, communications, behavior, personality, they are driven by inside emotions or skills like our belief, adaptability, knowledge, self-awareness, creativity, uh, cultural awareness, personal values, and critical thinking, etc. So I think it's very easy to understand that yes, the result area and this is the driver area. But how do we really change our behavior? How do we change our performance? That's the main challenges. And that's what I'm going to explain to you in the next few slides. So this is a chart I created a couple of weeks ago just to explain that where we are, where we need to be. So in this pyramid, this is a very common framework that in terms of learning, where we start when we come across some new knowledge and information, we start with remembering it. That's a basic level. Then next level, we try to understand it. Then we can apply it, analyze, evaluate, create. Now, most people, most learners are basically stuck at these first two levels, remembering and understanding. That is where they are. That is how we learn all of our life, and that is how we think. Even in our adult life, we could learn the same way. But this really provides us the level of information and data. We are talking about really developing ourselves to the level of wisdom, strategic thinking, and we are trained for just stopping somewhere here. Most of the people, right? And this is low order thinking skills, but we are expected to reach at the level of strategic thinking, critical thinking, and analytical thinking, right? Every organization, every expert is saying that these are the skills you need to develop for future. And we agree. But how do we do it? We don't know. So there is a lack of practical platform or practical structured guidance. How do we do it? So I try to create this picture just to explain you that look, first of all, you need to understand that most of us are already here. And we need to develop the ability to move to these levels or layers so that we develop some high order skills and we could really develop some strategic thinking, critical thinking, so that we could deliver the results at that level. And we really need that wisdom level to work vis-a-vis with AI intelligence. That is the criteria or the pressure on us to really. This is my framework I use for all of my trainings. uh, and this framework applicable in any situation or most situations. You could see that it starts with your knowledge base, and whatever knowledge you gain has to go through your mindset, and mindset is very different for different people. Two equally qualified chartered accountants look at one scenario and situation and may have two different opinions. Why? Because their mindsets are different. Mindset is basically the accumulation of your life experiences. If you have good life experiences, you develop a positive mindset. If you don't have good life experiences, you have a negative mindset. But whatever information you learn has to go through the filter of your mindset. So it's very important to not only learn, but also to keep maintaining a level of mindset which is helpful for you. Then you are prepared. Then you are ready to deal with the world. And when you deal with the world, you have to develop some strategic thinking, some good ideas, some wisdom, some insight. And you also take help from the some personal marketing tools like personal brand and relationship. And when you combine the two with your strategic thinking, you are ready to communicate with the world. Now that's very important to understand. In this whole picture, the most important component is your communication. Because that is the only window of opportunity where you interact with the world. That window of opportunity could be create opportunity or may really create no opportunity, rather negative situations for you. But your communication, whatever you have learned, whatever your mindset, whatever your strategic thinking, relationship, and personal branding, what really matters is your communication. If you are good in communication, you make progress. If you are not in good in communication, you may struggle. And you are after communicating, your only component is influence. Your objective is not really to get a salary increase or promotion or another job title, but just to influence people around you. If you do that job, you would be very successful. So this is a framework we use in all of our trainings. And taking the advantage of this, using this framework, I would say that whatever you do in today's time, you must think about your opportunity cost. Because the only thing really rare or only thing which is scarce is your time. You could recreate any wealth, any resource, but when it comes to the time, it's your opportunity. Which means that whenever, wherever you spend some time, you need to think what else you could do in that time, which could be better. That's the opportunity cost. So you are sitting here in this webinar with me. Is there anything alternative available where you could spend the same time and get more value? That would be your opportunity cost. So opportunity cost is a very relevant concept to really use and apply. But unfortunately, most people are not willing to really learn. Most people think that they are good where they are. They are happy where they are. That is how they really do not make progress. So, as I said, that core of your success is your communication. In previous slides, we saw that they are talking about people skill. People skill are basically mainly related to the communication. It's all about people. It's all about communication. Communication is the bridge between ideas and execution. Degrees and technical knowledge alone are not enough. If you look around, the most successful people at work, they will find they are very good communicators. So that's the key, basically. In logistics, they call there is a concept called the last mile delivery, which means that, for example, when you order something at Amazon and they deliver at your home, the last mile delivery really matters because that could really make the delivery successful, or they could lose the package, they could damage the package. Similarly, all of your education, your development, your learning, your negotiation really does not matter as long as you are not able to communicate. Your communication is basically the result, is the output of all of your efforts before that step. That is how important the communication is. And communication is broader sense include storytelling, influence, strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and few more. How do you develop these skills? Look at this picture and look at their faces. It's a very common picture. If you use elevators to a high-story building, you are very familiar with these faces. They are humans, so close to each other, but they are emotionless. Their faces are flat, as if they are not recognizing other people. And look at this picture. Which one is more natural? So the point here is that we have a barrier, a natural barrier to connect with other humans. You sit on the plane for a long flight for 8 hours, and most of the time you even don't talk to other people, or other people don't talk to you, right? But once someone says hello and they start the conversation, you become suddenly comfortable. That's the mystery of human behavior. That you need to pass a certain threshold, and once you pass that threshold, you become very comfortable with the human being. And when you become comfortable, magic happens. Your relationship establishes. You started to enjoy work. You started to learn from each other. So mastery through interaction. You learn people skill from people. You cannot learn emotional intelligence sitting at home reading books or watching videos. You need to get out and interact with the people. That is the only way to develop people skill. Similarly, strategic thinking you only develop when talking with the people. When you surround yourself with those who challenge and inspire you, that is how your internal talent flourishes. That is how your people skills are sharpened. So the key here is that in order to become a very successful professional, you have to be part of, you have to have a network of people, professional and social network, because that is the natural way to develop your human skills. If you look at the very successful people in the business world or anywhere else, you will see that they have a large network of people. So look around and see how many people you are connected with, and what is the quality of those people. Most people complain that they want to connect with other people, but they don't have the connections and they don't know how to develop a network. So where to find your strategic network? Right people, the people who are most ideal for you to connect, are very closer to you, and you need to really see them and connect them. So uh, big networks like LinkedIn and Facebook are really no more those social networks where you could develop connections. These are mainly the advertising platforms where they use you as your product. On LinkedIn, there are more than 1 billion members, and those 1 billion members are basically the product of the company, which they sell to advertisers. So, in order to really do a real networking, you need to join niche communities. What are the niche communities? These are the small trusted networks which create real impact. Look, I have 27,000 festival connections on LinkedIn. Do I know all of them? No, hardly few hundred people. So why do I need those 27,000 people, or do you need 1 billion members to network? You need small communities. I would rather prefer to have 200 people in a small network who I know personally and they know me personally, because that would create the personal bond. So in Mecca community, we have developed this community. Currently, we have 50,000 professionals worldwide. 50,000. That's a good number. That's not 1 billion, and we don't want it to be 1 billion, but 50,000 is a good size where you could find anyone who could really help you. And again, you don't need to really develop connections with 50,000, but if you are able to develop good connections, good intimacy with 500, that would assure a very successful career for you. So, how to join Mecca community? Now, most of you are already connected, but I just wanted to ensure that we share with you a structured way to join Mecca community so you could really benefit from those opportunities available here. So, of course, the strategic CFO program, 12-month intensive leadership program is one where we train ambitious finance professionals to become CFO. We are starting 18 batch on this January 4th. Batch is almost full, so there is few spaces left. Second platform we opened is the CFO coaching club. Now, this is free, and this is mainly for peer coaching and networking. So, if you are not ready or prepared for CFO program, you could join CFO coaching club free of cost. There is no cost. There are already 1,500 members out of it. And then we are doing regularly Mecca CFO events. We just finished two big events in Dubai and Riyadh. And if you have a chance, look at the pictures and the videos, and you will see what quality of networking we are doing. Now, again, point here is that you need a circle of people to really help you promote in your career. The best candidates or the best professional do not apply for job. They are approached by other people with an opportunity. This only happens when you have a good network of people around you and you also have a bonding and connection and relationship with them. So you need to really think of yourself about becoming a gold coin, not a currency note. Currency note is uh, has a value because of the stem from the central bank. Gold coin has its intrinsic value. When you have a network of people who are going to support you, you have intrinsic value. And so it is said that you are the average of the five people you spend the most time with. Look around, seriously, look around and see who are those five people you are connected with and what they have done for you, where you are, and what you could be. So, look, these are the Makkah alumni CFOs. They're all CFOs right now. When they started their Mecca journey, not everybody was CFO. Some of them were controllers, some of them were the mid career level, but today all of them are CFOs. And they are still very active part of Mecca community. Think of this opportunity. If you get join Mecca community and you become connected with them, what they could do for you. People usually look for super level connections and they even don't get replies. I guarantee that if you join Mecca network and you approach them, they will reply. They will try to support you. That's a big difference. And not only the CFOs, but Mecca has also provided a platform to some individuals who wanted to become entrepreneurs. So look at these Sayyid Nadeem and Muhammad and uh, Dhawal and Mustafa and other people. They have some of them are still going through their corporate career and still doing things on the side because they develop that skill. I myself spent my life in corporate and then become an entrepreneur. I call them empreneurs, employee turned uh, entrepreneurs. That's another opportunity, not necessarily that you have to develop your corporate career. You could also develop your hustle, side hustle through these skills you develop. And as I said, that we have a fantastic, very large scale, very successful two events last couple of weeks, and we plan to do that every year to benefit the community. About more than 300 people participated into it. So, folks, here is the opportunity. So think of the three challenges. Let me relate to that. So you have digital challenge, you have strategic challenge, and you have work-life balance challenge, right? In order to the biggest challenge is that okay, if even if you are prepared, you are motivated to learn about the digital and the strategic, what to learn, where to go. That's the main challenge. Anybody who wants to learn without any guidance, you can go to the Coursera. Coursera has 7,000 free courses available, and you're going to spend your day and night learning those things. Where would you go? Nowhere, right? So the main benefit of the community is that there is a guidance available. There is a structured guidance available. There are people who would share their experience to you. So at minimum, you could join CFO Coaching Club. As I said, this is free to join. There are already 1,500 members, and we'll cap it at 2,000. We are not going to add more members. We want high quality members. That's the opportunity. There is a link available. You can just join, send a request, and you will get in. Then the next opportunity, this is what I wanted to talk about. Like, look, all of you or most of you have already good education, good professional education. You are a chartered accountant or CPA or ACCA or CMA or whatnot. And after that qualification, through the institutes or accounting body, they wanted to that you remain knowledgeable, you remain up to date. Created a system called continuing professional education and continuing professional development, CPD and CPE. Now, if you really look at the challenges around us in terms of learning, and if you look at the structure of the CPD and CPE, it's a joke. And more importantly, they only focus on the professional education in their current field. So, a little explanation: professional education usually includes programs aimed at professional help them remain current in their fields like taxation, audit, learn new skills, change careers, or enhance their marketability. That's professional education. Now, we don't have much opportunities available for finance professionals. Have executive education. That is what we needed. And Mecca CFO Academy has been focused from the very beginning on executive education, not professional education. What is the difference? Is executive education usually includes programs aimed at executive business leaders and managers to help them grow and improve their business and organizations. And those of you who have attended the Mecca CFO Academy would really uh, understand the main difference between the two. We don't need professional education, we need executive education. So, and there is no structured organization available or system available to provide that continuing executive education. So we have at Mecca Youth Academy come out with this idea of SEED. SEED is basically continuing executive education and development for finance professionals. We've already been doing it, but now we want to make it more structured. So this is the new program we are offering right now. And so SEED stands for Continuing Executive Education and Development for finance professionals beyond their mid-career. It's a it's a long-term subscription-based program. It's not a program for 2 months or 3 months or 1 year. It is a continuing because what you really need in terms of your professional executive development is to remain in touch with some people and some organization who would continuously provide you the relevant education and relevant development and relevant opportunity, whatever is needed. So in this program, we will have something more sustainable. Like CFO program is very intensive. 12 months, you need to spend a lot of time every week for 2 hours live session and then some assignments as well. This program, EAT, will go only 2 sessions a month, bi-weekly session for 90 minutes. One session with the sharing a framework, theory, or model. And the next session in that month will always be an activity, practical session, like activity, a case study, simulation, or workshop. So in first session of the month, you learn an idea, a framework, theory, and then the second session of the month, you go through a practical scenario, practical workshop, practical case study, or practical simulation to go through the same topic. We don't have a schedule of a specific topic, but what we will cover mainly is topics related to communication, mindset, work-life integration, personal branding, networking and strategy, and some other related topic. No content will be repeated. Every session you attend as live session will be recorded and kept into your personal library, so you can view that later as well. Now, this program, as I said, is for those who do not find or who are not ready for the CFO program. It's a lighter version of the CFO program, only for $97 a month. Now we are doing a offer 60 for 60 offer. What is 60 for 60 offer? Because this is a this is a new program. So we are offering 60-day free trial for the first 60 members. Think of this. You have no risk. You just join the program free for 60 days. You will have at least 4 sessions. Test drive yourself. And if you don't find relevant, you leave it. Or if you find relevant, you continue with it. But this offer is only limited to the first 60 members. So you would not have to pay anything for 60 days, 2 months, and then you can decide. Now, think of this executive education for $97 a month. Really, it's too good to be true. True. By many people will say it's too good to be true. But this is what we do at Meta platform. Try to create value beyond your belief, beyond your imagination. So this is the seed program we are offering, and so it is already live enrollment. You can go to the website. The link I have showed you before. So at the bottom of this slide is a link. You can take a picture or note it down, and you can go to the website and enroll if you want to avail the benefit of 60 for 60 offer. And another offer, another very important thing I want to share with you this time, starting 2025, is Train the Trainer program. So I got requests from many alumni that they want to go on a journey of like developing themselves into a trainer or for a side hustle, not necessarily changing their career from corporate to becoming an independent trainer or coach like me, but also developing skills and do something on the side. And maybe in future at the right time, they might think of really converting into that side hustle as a full-time job or career. I think that's a very good idea because it really, in these competitive times, provide you a buffer, a risk towards your job or career. At least you have some skills you can use whenever you want to. So we are offering this Train the Trainer program starting next month, February, and as part of the topics we'll cover in this Train the Trainer is foundation for adult learning. I will teach that myself. Researching and content creation, facilitation skills, teaching and coaching skills, how to teach cases and simulations, online training tools, and few other topics. This program would be for 6 months certification program. So after completion of the 6 months, you will get a certificate as a uh, certified trainer from the Mecca Youth Academy by Salim Sufi. And the amazing part is that this is free. This is completely free, but this is only for the alumni, Mecca alumni. If you are a member of the Mecca alumni and you want to go through this Train the Trainer training by me, Salim Sufi, you are most welcome to join with no cost to you. The only condition is that you need to join the batch 18 of the strategic CFO program, which many alumni are already joining to refresh because for them the course has been significantly updated. So if you want to join the Train the Trainer, then also join the strategic CFO program with the regular fee, and then you would be entitled to complete this program in 6 months. Now, another very important thing, because I am very practical and I want to keep my training very practical. As part of the practical training, if you join if you are a member of alumni, number one, and you join batch 18 of a strategic CFO program, you are entitled to join Train the Trainer. And as participant of the Train the Trainer, I would give opportunity to select members, select participants to conduct the actual sessions of the CFO program in batch 18. If someone really developed to a level where I think they are ready to practice their skills, I would give them opportunity to conduct a few sessions of the CFO program. So that's another opportunity waiting for you. And the batch 18, as I said, is almost full. If you want to take this opportunity, then you need to really jump and get enrolled, and you would automatically be enrolled in the train the trainer program. And folks, that's it. So to summarize what I have communicated you in the last 70, 80 minutes is basically identifying the key or the major issues faced by finance professionals at the macro level, like work-life balance, digital challenge, and strategic challenge. And in my opinion, you are fully capable to jump start resolving those issues by developing and creating a network for yourself. That's the most important thing. I mean, many people will say that I will go to a training institute or to Coursera and do some courses and training. You can do that. But in my opinion, the best way of learning and developing yourself to become a leader, senior leader, is really to establish and become part of the professional and social network and develop those level of relationship with those people, and those people will help you. In our platform, Micah platform, we are continuously doing those activities in terms of the events, in terms of the training, mentoring program, coaching program, and interacting with other individuals. Networks would really help you significantly, not only improve your overall development as a professional, but also what you need to learn. So, for example, if you join the seed program, I have to decide. I will look into what you really need. You don't need to worry about it. You only have your time. You come with your time availability, and I feed you what is the best content for you in these times. That is why there is no uh, uh, pre-decided or pre-scheduled agenda. But every time we have the session, we'll see what we need to do. Okay, good. So uh, let me see if there are any questions I can answer. So I'm going through the comments. Do you? So I see. Do you see with ESG coming up? Don't you think CFO FP&A need to integrate? Yeah, I fully agree. ESG is one of the topics we need to really get into and develop ourselves, because finance has really need to play a major key role in ESG. So we need to. Most of the professionals are not really oriented. We need to start learning about it, which is very important. Data architect and yeah, agreed. Okay. So I don't see much questions here, but the recordings would be available on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. If you didn't have a chance to go through it live, then you can, of course, watch it. I will also try to make the presentation copy of the PDF copy of the presentation available, and you can always send me a question later if you want. Yes, Khalid. So batch 18, you have already enrolled. Now, Khalid is a great example of a senior alumni. I think he has already done the CFO program 3 times at least, and now he has registered again for the fourth time. So amazing. And Khalid, we will definitely sharing the content, finalizing few things. So inshallah, before the next week, you will get all the information. But you prepare yourself for the trainer program as well, because by joining the batch 18, you become entitled to also part of the trainer. Okay, folks. So I will ask for your leave now. And as I said, that don't hesitate to send me any questions or any information you further need from me. Main thing you need to look into is the SEED program, continuing executive education. Uh, 60 for 60 offer. I think it would fill very fast, very quickly. So I want you to take the advantage of that. And thank you very much for attending, and I'll see you some other time. Thank you very much. Good night now. Goodbye.